Hi guys, Caroline here. It's a beautiful frosty start, but at least we've got the sun out here in New Zealand today. I'm in Canterbury. So I actually did do a short video just before, but my phone got too full, so I've decided I won't share that bit. I will edit them. I just thought I'll start again. So I've already been in here for a little while. Nothing major. I'll just adjust that down, I think, so you can see a bit more of the light. Move these back. Look at some of the crystals charging. I've been off because I injured my back. I did too much gardening. Silly mate. And it's still not 100%. But she's all good. I'm just going to briefly discuss what's been going on globally with that betrayal, because I did a video on betrayal a while back. You'd have to look through my playlist. Something that was personal to me, and I think with my response to this, there is still little bits that are unhealed. And so I'd like to just take this opportunity to talk about it a little bit. But let's just take 3 big deep breaths in and call on our ancestors and angels and spirit guides and Jesus and Mary Magdalene first and foremost. Just calling them in now through our breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. We'll do one more. Breathing in and out. Talk about them looking like they were deer stuck in the headlights, but or you could say that their soul left their body in that moment. They had a moment of their conscience, should we say a guilty conscience. So, I feel for them in a sense, but it's obviously something that needs to come up, because betrayal is a wound. It's a psychological wound. It's wounds that you don't see, that is embranded on the person who's been betrayed. And because of this event, it is embranded on everyone's consciousness very deeply. And so those that are betraying or being betrayed, it is very much coming up to be healed. They're my thoughts on it. I share because I've even shared on my private Facebook page about this. Obviously people are already seeing it. I get that, but there's a reason why it cuts so deep to those that are being so betrayed, but it's going to cut deep for those that did the betrayal. But no, it's basically forcing them to look in the mirror. They were forced to look in the mirror at themselves and go, oh my God, what am I doing? Everyone knows now, right? So it's like, well, why would you? I think maybe this will be to their own saving of their soul, right? But I'm meaning in a way of their spiritual life. It may make them go within and seek healing, to seek what their actions have done in their own lives. And I think vast majority of cases when there's a betrayal, there certainly is a long time of separation. ironically for me, when I've learnt of it, my husband was already dead. So I did have inklings, but I always overrode them because I trusted him implicitly, and he, you know, I guess was hiding. You know, I guess if you do it once, right, you're already guilty. So, you know, I remember saying to him once, I did actually catch him on his phone, and I said, and who's this, and who's this? And some of the things that were being said were ringing alarm bells, and I just said to you, if you're doing anything, you cut that out right now. Oh, but it's someone. I said, well, who's it? It's someone from my past that that is, you know, psychologically, oh, well, you're not going to be psychologically well either if you continue that behaviour. So yeah, I guess there were signs. Some things I think I was so pure and innocent in my thoughts. You know, I believed in us so wholeheartedly because I poured into us as a couple. Maybe to the point where I sacrificed myself. And so I think for me, for going forward, it's made me see how I didn't love myself. You know, I sacrificed myself for the sake of the family, right? Your little bubble, you know, your husband and your children, which is, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing. But if it's at the point of losing yourself, then I guess it's a reflection of that you don't love yourself. And so I guess because we had it so hard that you lose yourself in the extremity of that experience. This is only just coming out as I'm speaking, so you know, it is a personal thing, and it's not what I said on video just previous. I didn't go into personal, but those I'm always finding it hard to speak. That couple, that betrayal couple, I'll call them. That came out. That betrayal sacred union. Sacred union within is what I was thinking. It made me think, because the masculine, you know, so okay, the energies of a masculine and a feminine. The masculine is the protector, is supposed to be the one that's got your back, that defends you, protects you, shields you, gives you that love. And the feminine is the one to, you know, to nurture, to support, to assist, to be the emotional and the spiritual body, to be a light, to hold space for them as a couple. And so the union of the masculine and feminine within yourself is the most important thing. Ooh. There's too many here, so wait. And I feel like I'm, but yeah, wow, what a public, they're like the pin-up board for betrayal, whether they wanted to or not. But I mean, it's allegorical, isn't it? Is that the right word? I don't know. Metaphorical. It's you know, because there will be those that will be doing the betraying, and there'll be those that are getting betrayed. And so I think more than anything, it's a call, the call to union. Star Mother is here too. Blessing of Al Hakim. Star Mother. Hand of Fatima too. Anything for the collective that I can share. You know, it's a call to into your subconscious. It's a call to question. You know, I do wonder whether that fella, you know, he was more upset that it was exposed, clearly. Has got the mind to want to heal, to want to go within and face his own demons, if you like, face his own betrayal, because really he's betrayed himself. That's what I want to say. He's betrayed himself in this. You know, and I'd say he's betrayed himself in business too. And I think the dance of the divine feminine here. Beyond the threshold of fear, that came out before too. And 1. We're going to have to go within. Why am I seeking so many cards, divine? Betrayal is a personal thing for me. You know, it's not just a husband and wife relationship. You know, it's betrayal from family members too. Like, you know, you're betraying your children. You're betraying anyone that knows you. You know, a lot of feminine archetypes coming out here. Beyond death, life. The cloak of Christ. The cloak of Christ. And I think for me, it just made me think how divine, and I think that's why my spiritual life excelled, particularly after my husband's death and that betrayal, because I was going within and seeking the love that you know you deserve, that is respectful and because that feeling of betrayal is deep, is like I said, is deep. It cuts deep, and it makes you challenge your worth. And divine would never make you challenge your worth, right? They will only ever help you look in the mirror to heal any wounds, to bring a better consciousness level of understanding to your heart, mind and soul, to help you face even your own inner demons, your inner darkness, but also those that have hurt you and betrayed you. Let's take 3 big deep breaths in again and release. One for the collective that are hurting from betrayal wounds, betrayal thoughts. Take a big deep breath in. You know, it just makes me think, you know, the outward expression of that betrayal, even in a public space where they chose to do that in a public space. That the moral integrity, but the values that they've held have been clearly on shaky ground for quite some time. I was just trying to think, if I saw my husband and he was still alive with a woman, and I was obviously, you know, there's just some part of this that is just like unutterable. Can you see I'm struggling to get the words out? It's like, what am I wanting to say? What I'm wanting to say is that the light is within you. Always has been, always will be. No matter who comes and goes from your life. Because look, I'm very aware that, you know, the body, you know, this vehicle, this temple, and it is the temple of the living God, this temple within, you know, it's the inner temple of the spiritual body. That's the bit that gets released eventually from the body, right? And then it goes on to whatever lessons you've learnt in this incarnation. Hopefully you've gone within. I think what I'm trying to say is don't look for love that is imperfect outside of yourself, because you will always be disappointed. There is no, sure, you can have really good examples within men and women, within unions, but from what I feel, it's the union within. It is that, so the sacred union with the self. And so it's developing that relationship, because once you develop that relationship, all other relationships that come or go into your life, in or out of your life, will be because of this divine union. You will make different choices. And I dare say that this CEO has not had integrity within his business practices and has shafted a brother. You know, so it's something that, because I did see something on Facebook in that regard. Whether it be true or not, I don't know. But the fact that you're going in a public space with another, you know what you're doing. But to think that you won't be seen amongst the masses, even just one person that knew you. I don't know, this is actually, I'm already at 19 minutes and I don't even know why I'm reshuffling. I feel like it's almost, it just, commitment to the self. I'll just go to this one, I think. I've abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, and one I call. You look for me, and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold God. Wow. Wow. When you think about that couple, the betrayal couple, being faced with themselves in the mirror, they look like they left their body. It dawned on them. In that moment, they had an awakening. A very unpleasant one. These are games of love and truth. Look for me and find yourself. For I am you and you are me, and together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and of divine essence. So this is pointing to the oneness of who you truly are. So they need to remember who they are. You know, it's not all, because they did the betraying, it's not all lost. They've just been faced with a mirror. They've basically been given the gift of divine go and heal. Look at what you've done. This is a divine gift for you to correct. That's what they're being challenged with right now on a soul level, is my belief. No one's perfect, but betrayals does cut deep because it involves so many, particularly if children and husbands and wives are involved. Not a good idea. You are created uniquely and of a divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey. That's what they were faced with, because there was a disconnect for them that spiritual things don't matter, in my opinion. Because they wouldn't, if they were standing in their spiritual authenticity, they wouldn't choose that for themselves. And there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So this is reminding them too, that they come from divine origin, but they've chosen a darker path. But with that, they will be learning things that they couldn't learn without maybe experiencing that. It says here, so then, why the frowning? The fear of the questioning. Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper it into your heart. Now, there is nothing to fear but fear itself. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. Well, this is quite nice because it's something that I feel I need to hear. So maybe it's something you need to hear. No matter how dire circumstances may appear to be, or despairing you may feel, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being and life, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded. They had a summons. They literally had a summons. Every part of you, every life circumstance, the divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore, nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside divine attention and grace at this moment. So everything, look, when I look over my life, there's things, where you go, none of us are perfect, is what I'm saying. And though, you know, everything's recorded. It's recorded by divine. Everything. And we will be accountable for it. But only for our lessons, for our learning. Just make sure going forward that it's always with the utmost integrity for your soul as much as anything. Nobody else's, your soul. Because if you're looking for your highest and best good for your soul, it's always in benefit for others anyway. You must remember that you are a living heart, the dweller at the centre between heaven and earth, star and soil, light and dark. If you cannot summon the joy to rise up and meet the divine beloved, fear not. That cunning lover lies deep within the depths, waiting to gather you into sacred embrace as you descend into darkness. Either through flying or falling, you shall be caught and tangled up in divine embrace. So fear not. Cast aside worry and concern. Know that you are thoroughly itemized on the divine ledger, and not one moment of your struggle or suffering shall miss the hawk-like gaze of the ever-attentive and heavenly beloved. Which in itself can, but they see the nuances. They see why you responded the way you responded. They see how you've been treated. They see it all. They see what lines you come from. They see the karmic imprint of ancestors. They see there's nothing that's hidden from the all-seeing eye. And that's the third eye. And you can tap into this third eye. And they will see through you. And that is the Christ within. It's coming up through the 33 vertebrae of your spine. Being awoken. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now. A sense, perhaps, of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. I can feel that. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know now what choice, if any, is most needed in your life? So many questions, your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle upon the truth. I love you too much to allow this to continue unchecked. Surrender it, give it up. The truth you seek is this. You shall be. So let that stinking thinking mind, and I think that is why, I mean, we've got to 28 minutes. That is why my thoughts were all over the place, but it's almost like I couldn't speak, okay? Because that's what I mean. It's beyond words. And this is the quantum energy stuff, is when you're tapping into that. You're going into the depths. Yes, you've used thought and logic and all, you know, manner of that side, which still has a necessary... It's still necessary. However, when you're starting to go into that deeper levels, it's beyond what you can speak. You're going into it, you're surrendering into it, you're feeling it, even if it is through your back, like me. Often it's a feeling of feeling unsupported when your back goes, I know my lower back. And that can be quite, because I'm at distance from my family, and to a certain extent, well, it was chosen that way, not consciously at the start, but those that are meant to be in your life will be in your life, is what I'm saying. You shall manifest your destiny just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are, and as you accept this, life responds. It breathes and relaxes around you, so what you need can come to you more easily. It finds you, drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting, and not a cause for anxiety or distress. The need leads to satiety. I don't know how to say that. Need leads to satiety. What is desired and what fulfills that desire is one. They are lovers that come to each other naturally, even through darkness and confusion, drawn to each other, following the natural course of the universe to become one. So this may be a sign of somebody coming into your life to become one with you. But divine lovers, you know, you've healed, you know, you've healed the betrayal, and you're being who you desire to be, and you probably already have been. I can't account for these others that have been on the public stage. I mean, divine knows. That's the point. I just saw 3, 1, 4, 4, so that would have been 4, 4, 4. So divine knows the stability that you require. 4 is like the pillars. You need 4 in a building, the 4 pillars for strength. So do not fret and fear, my beloved. Do not hold back from that which feels incomplete out of anxiety or distress. It is just the lover that will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing, and even if it's just divine love, the union within you, you know, you've the love that you feel when you're in unison with that divine love, your divine beloved being Christ. You're at union within self. It is just the lover that will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing the moment before this occurs, so fret not, and instead let that inner lover loose. Allow her to shake out her hair, put on her most sensuous perfume, and laugh as she dances barefoot in fields of lush grass and fragrant flowers. So that can be just the divine love coming, you know, to experience that, to feel that love, that genuine love and connection with your soul and with your divine team, that freeing, that security, that knowing that they will never ever betray you or leave you comfortless, that throughout all of your days, when you've been alone, when you've had to face the darkness of others, when you've had to go within, when a brother turned their back on you because it was too hard for them, when you've had to go into that depths of suffering, they've seen you. And it was a time that you had to go into that solitude to heal, to purge, to cleanse, to release. And now it's like a sign of be barefoot, be fancy free. When you find your true divine beloved counterpart, even in physical reality, you can then, you know, the betrayal of others will just fade in comparison. And not only that, your physical vessel will start to look younger and liberated and freer, and the weight and the heaviness of betrayal and being backstabbed or not supported by a man or woman in your life, that hurt can then fall away. But I can't express enough how much that union within is the source for all of, you know, future loyalty and love. I don't know whether you... Anyway, I'll share it. It is very disjointed, and I feel... maybe it's not. Maybe it is what it is, right? I'm not going to run myself down. No. It is what it is. And for a woman that's gone through post-traumatic stress, you know, I'm happy to show what it is how it affects your physiological body, how it affects your spirit, your mind, your heart, your physical body. Let her tempt her beloved to come close, because she can be seen. She can be heard. Her movement sends her scent through the air. She entices the yearning beloved to her. See, this is a pure love here. This isn't what we just saw on the screen at the Coldplay concert. This is what they're after. This is what they're after. But they've forgotten. They've forgotten. And I can tap my heart on them and send them love because of the darkness that they're in right now. And what they're going to face is going to be challenging to their spirit. And hopefully they go within to heal. To know that deep down they are worthy of love. But they've got to heal the reasons why they sought to betray. Because like I said, the one doing the betraying is betraying themselves, their soul, their own soul, their own spirit. And it does return to them. Then they've got to heal, and they've got to go within. Like it says at the start of here, is a divine mirror, holding up a mirror for you to behold God. Was God playing games with them? Only because he loved them to the point where he wanted to rescue them, and maybe that's what it took for their individual souls. And I've gone goosebumps down my legs, actually. That's what it took for them to wake up. They were as dead men, now they have risen, and they've seen it. Now they're going to reject that. But I just pray that the collective, I pray that they would seek the appropriate help and support and therapy to help them overcome this, and that the collective would not hold unnecessary grudges so that their souls can be freed. She entices the yearning beloved to her. And soon enough they meet, and it becomes possible for, yet again, two to become one. And then there will be wild peace and ecstatic contentment within you. Our divine knows I deserve that. My dog's had her lymph nodes on a dog up, and it's real puffed up her face. It almost looks like elephantitis type thing, you know. She's on antibiotics because yeah, she needed something. Anyway, right, I don't know why I said that. If there is any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, yeah, all my old life, there is. just personally, you know, it's like letting go. It's like fulfilling a contract, you know, and it's 5 years past my husband passed, and also learning of his betrayal, but it's not going to define who we were as a couple either. He had a moment where he betrayed himself, and I forgive him, and he's been with me energetically. I still miss him, but I've learned so much with him gone. Divine. And it is hard to reconcile it all. Not just, you know, that one blip that he did, right? You know, because you are one. And then they go and they pass on the baton for you to continue on. And we had personal, but they were our battles. And we faced them together until he had to pass on the baton to me and said, go finish what we set out to accomplish. It wasn't it's not for fanfare or to look better than others or any of that. It was literally a contract of who they were and are. That's how I feel. That's what the legacies are, isn't it? They did the best they could. And when you're a husband and wife team, you did it together. But then it's letting that go. You know, it's 5.5 years since he passed. It's like finally releasing the past that is the past, and there is a new version of me that is formed through that pain. You've had to turn that pain into purpose. Hence why I've been on here, and sometimes I go, what on earth am I on here for? But if I can touch one heart, because they felt alone when the tests, or when the tower moment has come and divine has sent you on another path. He put me in a path of solitary confinement to a certain extent. Well, I chose that too. I chose to be alone. Because most people, in my experience, couldn't meet me where I was at. They couldn't go into the pain. Most people run away from it. They don't want to go in the void. The void feels like a black hole. It's probably not by chance that I've got this. It's like being swallowed up. And nothingness, but you're trying to work out what your relevance is going forward. But you knew you held on to what the love that you held with your husband or wife. Because there was way more positive than negative. And yeah, they say it only takes one betrayal, but a slippery slope. Well, In my case, my husband was taken, so. But I'm aware that it does have a physiological effect on your body. And I don't know why I'm open about that, but it does cut deep, and there's obviously another layer that can be healed through this public display of betrayal with that couple, the betrayal couple. I don't know how to put them. You know what I mean? But if they were to ever watch this, I'd just say, look, go with them. And listen to what others would say. And though it could be painful to really face yourself, you will gain growth from that. You will gain growth. So if there is any part of you that's struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this: even the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can only be one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity, a conflict, a third way, the rising up to where there is only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart. You'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in that perfection there, where it has always been and will always be. Don't worry, all is happening exactly as it should. This oracle brings you particular guidance. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed disparate or in conflict. Something you have been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honoring ritual and stay with your process. The coherence, the integration, the balance and coming together you seek is on your horizon, approaching you swiftly now. Place your hands at your heart and say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, I gaze into my heart and you are there. I gaze into your heart and see my own face. We are one. This oneness is contagious. May it swiftly affect every aspect of my inner world, so that my outer existence aligns gently with perfect harmony with the great beloved, divine beloved. You and I are one with the perfection of divinity unfolding, now and always. Through grace and my own free will, so be it. When you're ready, place your hands in prayer position and bow your head. I surrender into the one truth of divine perfection, which includes my own divine destiny now. Through mercy and grace, so be it. I'm not going to read anymore. That's 49 minutes. My dogs are barking for a reason, so I'm going to go and see what the go is. So yeah, that was quite personal really in some respects, but hey ho. If it helped, just give me a comment. Bye.